You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you may on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Temptation's Ballad. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel and gain exclusive permanent access to our community Discord server, and future access to all of our upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Those are exclusive to patrons and people on Discord, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alright. Why would you continue working for them all these years if you suspected they had bad intentions? Agatha's wings slumped. An air of melancholy suddenly hung over her, washing over the enchanter like a painful wave. The old bat rubbed her eyes wearily. Roderick and I go way back. We may have even been friends back when we first started working together. The two of us had a lot in common. Too much. The enchanter let out an exhausted sigh as she took off her glasses to clean them. Difficult memories swam across her face as she carefully considered her next words. Earlier today, you asked if I had any children. Oh! Artemi bowed her head deeply. I'm terribly sorry for the insensitive comment. I didn't mean to cause any distress. Agatha shook her head quietly. 5. I've been through 5 miscarriages. Her head hung low. Perhaps that was why I felt a kinship with Roderick in the beginning. We were both just simple fools yearning for children of our own. Agatha's eyes softened. This was why I was originally hired as the Royal Arcane Researcher. You know how nobles get with their bloodlines and air obsessions. I was ordered to develop an arcane solution to this issue. There was an excited glint in her eye. Can you imagine a world where the barren, the elderly, the sickly, everyone would have a chance to sire a family of their own, regardless of unfortunate circumstances? But surely they could choose adoption instead, Agatha scoffed. Good luck convincing the nobles. They treat their blood like it runs with gold. Regardless, raising a child is such a personal decision. Wouldn't it be great for everyone to have more options? A passionate yet bittersweet smile spread across the enchanter's face. Back then, I would imagine the child I would bring into the world. A little one that I can raise into a beautiful grown person, someone to pass my love to. I would name her Rosie. With the royal family's coffers backing me, I finally had the resources to make my dreams come true. As I toiled restlessly in that arcane lab for years and years, I yearned for the day I would finally meet her. Agatha's smile faltered. Artemi felt her heart lurch at the sight. For just a brief moment, the enchanter looked utterly empty, like the shell of a once passionate woman. Did you succeed? A bitter scowl flickered across Agatha's face. Well, our wonderful little Prince Cassius is running about, isn't he? Artemi gasped. Are you saying... Agatha gritted her teeth and glared into the ground. No. Roderick took my life's work, my dreams, and defiled it. Her words came out in a disgusted spat. My life's work was made from a place of love. I was to provide the gift of parenthood to those who truly wish to raise a family and all the love that it entails. Why, just look at that Clyde boy. Those bone breakers, so full of baggage and strife, yet deep down filled with such love and support for one another. That is the kind of family my magic was meant to create. Roderick, on the other hand? Cassius, that abomination. That is not what my project was meant for. What he did was an insult to everything I hold dear. Agatha's shoulders, shaking with utter rage, suddenly stilled. And for his misdeeds, Roderick will pay handsomely. Artemi took a step back, a chill running down her spine. The enchanter smiled slightly. I suppose after my little rant, I may have risen quite high on your list of suspects. It is a price I am willing to pay. Agatha bowed lightly before turning to leave. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, Artemi Johanna Gautier. My words are far from unbiased, but all come from a place of truth. It is your duty as the Creator's chosen to strike down the evil of this world, is it not? I'll be watching your future endeavors with utmost anticipation. With that, the old bat spread her wings and quietly fluttered down the street. Artemi can only stare after her in stunned silence. Second, y'all. Drink time. Oh, that's so good. It's like pomegranate, strawberry, and I think agave nectar. It's really good. Let's see, where should we investigate first? Investigate Soul's Arcane Curiosities shop. This was an awkward sight, to say the least. Sid gulped nervously as he approached the smoking shop of Soul's Arcane Curiosities. The store looked even worse than when they had crashed a merchant cart through their front door. Burn marks plastered the walls and merchandise lay scattered across the floor. Jagged cracks decorated the edges of the massive hole that resulted from Cole's explosive getaway. Standing alone at the center of the shop and staring solemnly at this mess was Clyde. The tiger looked up as Sid approached, a tired expression weighing heavy across his face. Hey, is Cole doing okay? There we go. Oh, he seems to have healed up smoothly. Should be fine after a bit of rest. He's well enough to run off and handle some urgent stuff. More importantly, are you doing okay? Clyde quietly turned back towards his mess of a shop. Hard to say. I ran back here to find Soul, but it turned out the old geezer didn't even leave the medic wing today. I got one hell of a talking to for letting the shop get blown up. The tiger leaned back with a strained sigh. But by some miracle, I didn't get fired. Which is nice and all, but after hearing about this disaster, most of the investors got more cautious about supporting me. Probably because I'm going to be ass-deep in debt trying to pay off this mess. Clyde gestured at the smoking remains of the shop. Anyway, glad to hear Cole's up and running again. But not well to swing by and say hi, apparently. Sid scratched his head awkwardly as he struggled to find something to say. The tiger's expression was unmoving and unreadable as stone. Hey, listen. I know there's a lot of complicated stuff between you two right now, but Cole didn't mean any harm by tricking you. He just wanted you to be at the tournament so that you'd get the recognition you deserve. It wasn't his fault he got attacked. Cole just wants the best for you, you know? Something snapped inside Clyde as he turned around. Then why won't he talk to me? If he cares so much, why not just tell me? Enough games, enough scheming behind my back. Clyde's head hung low, his eyes squeezed shut. We used to be best friends, and then suddenly he'd avoid me for months on end and then pretend nothing happened. I'm not a mind reader. If he wants to mend things, he can come talk to me himself instead of sending a new lackey to do the job. Sid grew quiet. Clyde seemed to catch himself and shook his head apologetically. Sorry. I didn't mean to sound so... I'm not mad at you. Sid shook his head with a smile. No, you're right, honestly. Cole's a bit of a mess. Clyde suddenly burst into a small laugh. You're telling me? Sid paused. He's trying, though. Don't get me wrong, he's been stumbling like a madman from what I can see, but he's also trying so hard. Give him a bit more time. He'll come through eventually. Clyde lifted his head. His gaze fixed on Sid with a look of wistful consideration. I've waited over 8 years. It's a lot of time he's asking for. The two of them jumped at the sound of the doorbell jingling, which was quite a feat since the shop's front door was blasted into splinters of wood across the floor. Maeve Osmia poked her head through the gaping hole in the wall, her hand gently tapping the burnt doorbell. Apologies for the intrusion. I am the festival organizer and have come to assess the damages. Is it all right if I come in? Clyde let out a sigh and scratched his head. Yo, this is a store. You don't have to knock. Second now. Drink time. Oh, yeah. Oh, so good. Okay. Especially since we ain't got a front door anymore. Ah, then allow me to offer my assistance to your door problem. The Festival Organization Committee has money set aside to pay for these damages. It was our duty to ensure your safety, and we have evidently failed. The least we could do is help your business recover. Ha! That look on his face. Well now, that's surprisingly decent of you. Thanks, lass. I'll take whatever help I can get. Sid shot a nervous glance towards Maeve, but the noble seemed unbothered by being addressed so casually. Perhaps there is more I can offer. My house has great interest in your blacksmithing skills, especially after seeing your creation at work in the tournament. Though House Osmia has no interest in weaponry, we wish to invest in enchanted tools and devices to aid my countrymen's work in the fields. Clyde scratched his head. I suppose I can do that. A farmer's sickle ain't that different from an axe. What are you offering for my services? The noble studied the wrecked store with a calculating look. Money will not be a problem. We can build a small forge in the back of the shop and refer to you our suppliers for a start. All we ask in return is your skills in creating tools that will help my countrymen's work." Clyde was stunned. "That's more than I was expecting." He let out a delighted laugh. "How could I say no to such an offer? Of course I'd accept. You've made yourself a very grateful friend today, lass." The noble smiled underneath her silvery veil. "That is wonderful to hear. The druids of the exterior have precious few friends within the city. We are always honored to find more." Sid watched their exchange with a sense of relief. Well, they suffered a few stumbles, but it looked like Cole's plan to get Clyde's career back on track worked out. A small part of Sid wished Cole were here to see this. Maybe be a little less stubbornly scheming. He sighed. Sid gave Clyde a quick congratulatory pat before leaving the streets once more. There was a nagging feeling in his gut that told him to find Cole again. Little hyena seemed to have a bad habit of trotting waist deep into trouble when left alone. Let's see, where should we investigate first? Finish up investigation. Hell yeah, boy! The afternoon sun hung low on the horizon as Maeve and Artemi finished up their rounds of the neighborhood. Most of the injured were taken care of and were eager to go home and escape Artemi's zappy healing spells. The night felt rather useless. Maeve did most of the work healing the injured, directing the recovery efforts and comforting the small folk. All Artemi could do was stand stiffly by her side. Maeve reassured her that the mere presence of the Creator's Chosen was comforting to the people, but it didn't make her feel any more helpful. "I haven't been really pulling my weight, have I? Even the other knights are looking at me funny." Maeve looked up from her musings with a snort. "I believe they are more intrigued by our little partnership than anything else. A holy knight and an exterior druid working together. Our ancestors will be laughing themselves unto a second death." Artemi frowned, confused. "Whatever do you mean?" Maeve stared at her for several long moments, as though checking to see if she was serious. "I don't suppose they teach you of our history in your cathedral these days. Shouldn't be surprised. You get that little shit? Look at him, fucking going between y'all. To the victor goes the spoils." More confusion swam through Artemi's head, but not enough to distract her from noticing a familiar figure's approach. She whipped around with an indignant scowl. "Not this time, you little thief!" "Ow, ow, ow!" Second, y'all. Drink time. "Ow, ow, ow, ow!" "That fucking stings, you little..." Before the urchin could make another hasty escape, Artemi grasped him by the wrist with a furious glare. "I shan't be tricked again. You will come with me and answer my questions, thief." "Oh, bugger off, you fucking knob! I ain't got nothing for you!" The urchin writhed furiously, but Artemi's grip was immovable. She hoisted him up and shook him by the collar. "When you mugged me a few days ago, how did you know I would be carrying such a valuable package? Did anyone coerce you into this job?" Emil... Oh, God. It's like something in my throat, y'all. Oh, that was woof. Ugh. Nasty feeling. Like, scratchy. Alright. Emil scowled and crossed his arms stubbornly. "I'd rather get thrown back behind bars than help a pissy knight. I ain't telling you shit." "Oh, you little..." Maeve ducked her head between their little squabble curiously. "What is this package you're talking about?" "This boy! He is the one who stole the crown and rubies I was tasked to deliver to the prince." "Hey, you can't prove anything. I'm being framed, I tell you." Maeve stared at the urchin curiously. "Oh, I thought I recognized you. Emil, was it? You're quite infamous around here. The list of complaints and petty crime reports in your name is enough to fill a novel. Quite the talented thief, this one." The urchin grinned proudly. "What can I say? I'm bloody good at what I do." "I'll take that as a confession, then. We best hand him off to the city watch. Perhaps he'll feel more cooperative once his parents come to pick him up." "Are you daft? I ain't got no parents." Artemi blinked. "Oh. Well, perhaps one of the church's orphanages will have a place for him." Emil burst out laughing with a sneer. "I've escaped both prison and those little hellholes for kids before, and I'll do it again. You think catching me is doing either of us any favors? Fuck off, mate. You best just let me go." Artemi felt at a loss for words. It didn't feel right to just release him without answers, but it didn't sit well to throw a child into prison either. Oh, looks like Maeve is going to get involved here. Alright. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!